Peak PO have effectively helped us really retain our best performing staff. So we were in a situation around 12 months ago when one of our team moved from our London office or London, where our team is based, out to Berlin. And we were a wee bit stuck in terms of retaining a great member of our team who manages some of our most important accounts and relationships. She moved over to Berlin, a whole host of kind of compliance and regulatory type elements for us to kind of tackle, and Peak have effectively made that whole process completely seamless. So from first conversation through to obviously now making sure Lizzie is not only employed compliantly but paid on time and in the right currency and all of that good stuff. The team have been wonderful in terms of just making that process enjoyable and seamless, not only for me as the employer, but also for Lizzie as an employee who's obviously gone through a big transition in her life and moved from London to Germany. Zest was founded to change the perception of recruitment, and specifically to change the perception of how a recruitment agency serves its people, customers and communities. And I think Peak has been a really important part of that journey. So number one, in terms of how Zest serves its customers, clearly losing any member of staff who manages really important accounts and customers for our organization would have caused a challenge and would have caused not having that kind of continuation of service and them having an account manager who they love working with. So Peak enabled us to, by proxy, retain those customers. But also, what's really important to me is how Zest serves its employees, and being able to make this employee's life easier as she transitioned from life in the UK across to Berlin, and make the day-to-day really easy as well. It's not only just up to that transition from point A to B and making sure that she's employed compliantly, it's more now focusing on moving forward every single month. She's got a point of contact. It's made a potentially really tricky situation incredibly easy. I'm not a domain expert, so the legals of German employment law and not having my head completely around that would have made that situation incredibly difficult. And it's one of those things that you really want to make sure all I's are dotted and T's are crossed. Peak effectively enabled us to do that and make sure that this employee was hired for Zest, where we don't have an entity in Berlin, completely compliantly and without any legal challenges on the way. What's really important to me as well is I'm sure we could have gone cheaper and could have gone down a different route. But what's really important to me is that these things are done correctly and are done by a business that I trust implicitly and match our values. And that's what really shone through for Peak. The onboarding process was, I would say, seamless, easy and efficient. Just from point A to point B really quickly, with someone there to hold my hand across the whole journey. The journey was much easier than I thought it would be, and I'm sure a lot of the credit there goes down to Peak and how they do things. So I guess it's changed the way I think about things in terms of if one of our team wanted to move geography, again, I'd feel much better equipped to retain that employee. The V Corp element is important, that's just validation, but I think just speaking to everyone within the team at Peak, you know that you're more than just a number, you know that they want to do good in the world, and therefore you feel really trusted that actually anything that's done by a member of the Peak team is in our best interests, and they're not going to cut corners or kind of not focus on quality in any action. I think it's so easy to recommend Peak to any other employer looking to either retain talent or attract talent. And why? Simply because the journey is really easy, quick, efficient. The team are all incredibly helpful. Response times are really quick. I think Peak do things as well in a way that's very different to the competition. I think they really stand out in terms of that the kind of B Corp element, doing good in the world, but also actively wanting to partner with like-minded organizations and really drive that kind of social responsibility in everything they do. So such an easy thing for me to recommend Peak, and I've already recommended Peak to a whole host of colleagues and partners and connections.